Afternoon and a big happy Wednesday to you. I hope that you are doing extremely well today. It is such a beautiful day here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The sun is shining, and that always makes me feel so much better, especially considering, being in quarantine and everything still. So definitely the beautiful weather is certainly super, super helpful. Yeah, my name is Marni Blythe. I am the leader here in Full Pocket Entrepreneurs. I am a business and profitability coach and a fractional chief marketing officer. And it is my absolute pleasure that I get to come here with you every single Wednesday to share best practices, tips, tricks, cutting edge sales, marketing, communications, business strategies, and ways for you to continue to build your business despite the times that are happening right now. So I have some people starting to tune in live. If you are here with me, if you could just give me a thumbs up or let me know that you're here, give me a little wave and a hi in the comments. I'd love to go ahead and officially welcome you. We are a big community around here, so it's always really important for me. I always get my energy from the people who are here in the group, and it helps me to continue, and I'm sure it is also helpful for you as well. So anyway, today we are going to talk about the importance of activity-based metrics. We're going to talk about the importance of having what we call KPIs, key performance indicators. You also can call them measurables. You can call it a scorecard. There are many different things that we call it. So I just want to make sure that you kind of start to understand so measurables, KPIs, smart numbers, whatever you want to call it, it's a handful of numbers that can tell you at a glance how your business is doing. And the very best leaders rely on a handful of metrics to help manage business. And when you focus on the numbers, right, it helps us with managing personalities, egos, subjective issues, emotions, things that are more intangible. So today I really want to kind of talk to you, especially if you have a remote team. And I've had some clients who have had some concerns with team members who may not necessarily be pulling their weight, and they've asked me questions about how do I manage my team remotely without micromanaging and without making them feel uncomfortable. So this right here is really the key, in my opinion, to how you have a conversation around numbers where this becomes everything, right? So people, in my opinion and in my experience in business, everybody works better when we know what's expected of us. If you agree with that, give me a thumbs up, right? We all work better when we know what is expected of us. And oftentimes we are functioning in a job where things are very ambiguous. And sometimes when we're functioning as a business owner, things are a little bit ambiguous as well. What I really want to do today is help you to start to put some definition around the idea of how you start to define what this looks like for you and for your business, okay? So anything that is measured and watched will be improved upon. So if we don't measure and we don't pay attention, then we aren't going to be able, to really improve. And the unfortunate reality is that most organizations do not have scorecards. They do not look at numbers until their P&L, their profit and loss statement comes out. And unfortunately, once you get a P&L, it's too late to make corrections, right? To course correct. So it's really important and it's really critical to not just rely upon a P&L because it is a trailing indicator. It comes in after the fact and we can't change the past. But with having metrics in place, or what we call a scorecard, benchmarks, we can absolutely change the future of our businesses. So how many numbers you need to track in your business really relies upon the type of business that you're going to have. And everybody's scorecard is definitely going to be different, when you start looking at how we do the measurement and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do was sort of talk first about the advantages to every single person in your organization, including you, having a number. So the first thing is that numbers cut through subjective communication between a manager and your direct reports, right? So everything becomes a number. And so it's a communication tool between the manager and the direct report, creating the basis of comparison from an unemotional place, right? Like the numbers are the numbers. So that way it's not up for discussion or conjecture. All it is this is the number. Did it work? Did it not work? You know, if it didn't work, what do we need to do to immediately change this? And if it works, great. Do we want to go ahead and continue, you know, going down that pathway? Numbers create accountability. When you set a number, everybody knows what the expectation is, right? And accountability begins with clear expectation, and nothing is more clear than a number, right? So I want to make sure that you guys understand that whatever you're going to be measuring per person in your organization, that it helps people to feel accountable when they are being held to a certain number that's already been agreed upon. So what you don't want to do is subjectively come up with these benchmarks and then throw them, you know, at your employees. One of my clients, what we did for her remote team was that we looked at each one of the positions. We first asked the person to basically create a list of all their responsibilities that they feel like they do with their job. And from there, what we did is we started to put together that list of what we felt were the appropriate benchmarks per position, and then what are the numbers. And we did it in a Google spreadsheet so that those numbers can just be updated weekly. And then during the weekly meetings that we have, the pulse meetings, you know, for their team, we're able to look at those numbers on a weekly basis. Accountable people appreciate numbers. Wrong people in the wrong seats usually resist measurables. Right people in the right seats love clarity, okay? If you know the numbers that you need to hit, then people enjoy being a part of an organization where, again, things are very clear in terms of what the responsibility and the accountability looks like. Numbers create clarity and commitment. When your staff is clear on their number and they agree that they can achieve it, you have commitment, right? You have buy-in. You know that they're on board, and that's a huge, huge, huge piece of the puzzle. Numbers also create competition, and that's actually a really good thing, particularly if you have people who are selling for you in your organization, because then we're able to get people to have a little bit of competition, and competition can be a very healthy, healthy thing. Numbers produce results. So again, when you're able to have clarity within the numbers, then you're able to see where you need to go and what you need to do. Numbers create teamwork, right? When a team is comprised of the right people in the right seats agree to a number to hit, and then they ask themselves, how can we hit this number? Creating camaraderie and a little bit of peer pressure. And sometimes that's actually a really good thing in an organization, because other people will up level, and the people who are not able to do it, you'll be able to clearly see that, and then you'll be able to make a decision about whether that person is actually the right fit for your team or not. And then finally, you solve problems faster, okay? When an activity-based number is off track, you can attack it, you can solve the problem proactively, unlike with an end result-based number that shows up after it's too late to change it. So hopefully that stuff is making some sense to you. If it is making sense to you, and you may not be watching right now live, but you're watching on the replay, you can go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the replay if this is making sense for you. So as we talked about, your scorecard will be unique to you and your organization. And I wanted to kind of talk about a couple, thank you guys for the thumbs up and all the loves. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the process for which you can go ahead and start to create the scorecard for your organization, and some of the numbers that you may want to be keeping track of. So weekly revenue, clearly an important number. Cash balance, sales calls, sales meetings, proposals, close business, payroll, customer problems, customer rating, accounts receivable, accounts payable. So these are all different measurables. Now, granted, again, like I said, you're going to have different scorecard, different measurables for different people, different organizations, just kind of depends upon what you do. But we want to make sure that this scorecard is being reviewed every week in your organization. There's no point of putting something like this in place and then not holding people accountable to the numbers. Okay, so that's really, really important that you guys understand that. And then what you want to do is let the numbers be on a rolling basis so that you have that historical data to be able to go back to at any given point if you need that historical data and information. So it's really a very proactive tool to be able to keep your organization in check and be able, like I said, to be proactive about when things are not on track and how you keep them on track. And also right now, during this very challenging time, if you do have people who are working remotely, it's a way to keep them accountable to the numbers when you're not able to be with them live, in person, in your office or whatever that might be. So anyway, it's just a quick one today. Just wanted to kind of give you some information about how you can be considering to create more accountability, more metrics, and because clearly there are some really awesome benefits to that. If you need help in determining what an appropriate scorecard would be for your business, please feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to be of assistance to you in that. Otherwise, I hope you are doing really well and you're making it through and being of service to everybody that you can in your organization and to your clients and to your families. And as always, I'm sending you all of my love and I look forward to returning to a wonderful state of normalcy in the world where everybody is healthy and safe. So have a great rest of your day. Make it a good one. We are all very blessed to be able to be here and I consider it a huge blessing that I get to be in community with all of you. So thanks for being here. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.